in a company, working for them for years on end, doing the best you could, sacrificing your time that you could be spending with your friends, your family, your children, all of your loved ones, and you're working so hard just waiting to get that title, just waiting to get that promotion. That is what I would class as selling your soul. Hello, everyone. Back again on a Monday. It's James off the cuff. And today I want to talk about, are you selling your soul or are you playing the game at work? Either or could be seen as wrong or right, depending on what your core values are. But some thoughts that I've been thinking about at my current age at the moment, 35, as a millennial. Am I playing the game or am I selling my soul? Is it too late to turn back? Or should I continue going? If I do turn back, what am I going to pivot to do? So, I would say know the difference. So, playing the game would be cheating the system and using it to your advantage, but following the rules. I would say selling your soul is when you start to lose your identity, you start doing things that really compromise your core values and really question how you feel about yourself as a person. And I know I've been in those situations a couple of times now in my career, whether it be in my 9-to-5 job or whether it be, thanks my eye, whether it be in my job or in the creative field. Am I trying to create art that I think people are going to gravitate towards rather than art that I feel as though is authentic and extremely biographical to myself? And let's be honest, capitalism isn't a sport. It really is not a sport. You will find the most talented people who work so hard day in and day out. And they go, I hate the saying, and they go beyond and beyond. And they may never be given their flowers for their hard work or for what they've achieved for the company. So I really think the whole thing about grinding really hard, putting the hours in, I think it's all it's a myth. It's a myth. I think it's more so about timing, strategically playing the game, strategically appeasing those who you need to appease as and when in order to get ahead in whatever you're trying to pursue, whatever career, whatever field you're trying to pursue in, whatever field you're trying to achieve success in, should I say. And after all, let's be honest, loyalty is dead. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, a company will hire you, they will celebrate you, and they will get rid of you in redundancy and pay you off. So if you do feel as though you're in a company that doesn't really celebrate you and there is no other avenues within that company that you can move in towards, never be afraid to leave and go somewhere else. Go somewhere that does celebrate you for your efforts, genuinely celebrates you for your efforts, and acknowledges all of your strengths and what you contribute. Because again, you could be in a company working for them for years on end, doing the best you could, sacrificing your time that you could be spending with your friends, your family, your children, all of your loved ones, and you're working so hard just waiting to get that title, just waiting to get that promotion. That is what I would class as selling your soul, because hopefully your loved ones mean more to you than that job. But then I also have to think about you working so hard is to create peace for yourself and your loved ones, to give them the luxury of comfort, give them a lifestyle that you never had. So it's a double-edged sword. It really is a double-edged sword. And I feel as though we often look at people who do things such as OnlyFans, adult entertainment, as lesser than, or people tend to judge those people and say those people are selling their souls. But in reality, what they're doing at that present time probably aligns, well, I'm sure it probably does align with who they are as an individual and what they want to do. So who is anyone to judge anyone how they make their money? And again, promotions do not heal burnout. Once you've got that title, once you've gotten to that stage of being so successful and you're at the top, but all that time you've wasted, or you've had to make decisions that don't align with who you are as an individual, and people who you were once close with at work are now looking at you sideways because they're looking at you thinking, wow, you would really throw me underneath the bus just for that title. So yeah, it's a very complicated thing to get your head around, and really and truly finding that balance and picking your battles when they really matter. I've been in many situations at work whereby I know that this person is responsible for my bonus, they're responsible for my end of year rating, and I've had to be very careful with how I confront them and what I confront them about, things that I don't agree with how they manage. And yeah, I would say sometimes, well, most of the times, biting my lip sometimes does feel like I'm selling my soul, because I'm having to shrink myself and make myself smaller because I'm scared that I'm not going to get a bonus. You know, I'm looking at that figure of money that I potentially will be getting at the beginning of the year and thinking, is it really worth me speaking up for myself? Is it really worth me talking to this person and saying, what you've done is wrong, I don't agree with that, and explaining myself? Or me saying, you haven't explained yourself why I can't be promoted, why is that? And it hurts, it sucks like hell when you know that if you do come across as combative, that person can make it very difficult for you. And I'm sure that goes across industries. And again, even just talking about it right now, I feel conflicted just thinking about how I handled certain situations in the past and how I wish I could have handled it had I not been so dependent on this company. And that leads into my final but probably most important point, is to make sure you have side hustles. Make sure you have side hustles that you really enjoy doing. So side hustles are things that could be pulling on any of your passions that you wish you could make a living from. I think when you start there and you work on making small but achievable goals, projects with those side hustles, you will find your 9 to 5 will feel a lot more easier, because that 9 to 5 paycheck is now serving a purpose towards your passion. And I've been there. I've had to do things outside of work because I just have a calling to do it, and I've had to do certain jobs because I know that I need this paycheck to fund this project. So if you are thinking at any point as a millennial or as a Gen Z, Alpha, Don't know if they're still working, if they're working well at the moment. Don't know. But if you are thinking of pivoting, think about how you can do that in small baby steps and give yourself an end goal. And it's okay if that side hustle no longer serving you. It's okay to stop it and actually go back to the drawing board and think to yourself, what else am I good at? What else would I like to explore about myself? What else can I learn in order to be an expert in? It's okay to go back to the drawing board and say, this isn't for me. Let me find something else. My final thought is, if you are going to play the game, play it wisely, play it strategically, and just remember that that job doesn't define you. It's not your identity. Who you are as a person is your identity. How you treat other people and how you make other people feel after interactions with them is who you are as a person. If any of this resonated with you, feel free to subscribe. I'm here every Monday just talking about regular things that come into my head, and hopefully this has given someone food for thought to move forward in their career. All right, well, so James off the cuff. I'm out for now. Bye for now.